And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in Fontus. Some aliens on Mayhem. It's round 212, or it's round 233. Sorry, I was reading off the one off the OBS, which is where we started the stream. Round 233. Over the intern, we killed 10 guns at the cost of 300 infantry and 10 Marites. So probably from a shot exchange standpoint, not a particularly good intern, although fairly quiet one, let's say. Ooh, Corp Tech.
Copy that.
Just gave us Thopter wings. Okay, I can work with that.
Sir, yes, sir.
We just discovered that, so it's basically like, oh, you've discovered this. Oh, and here's how you use the thing. Thanks, game. Let's get the armored army, so we can get tank battalions. Or tank brigades, not just independent tank battalions.
Roger that.
Extend the mine, put more oil in that petrol well. 15,000 more in there. New commanders!
Yes, sir.
We'll deploy those commanders.
Yes.
Give me another military. In case we take some more combat
Roger
losses.
that.
Yeah, from a shot exchange scenario, not too bad. Most of our currently deployed army are in fact still alive. It was mostly militia I think we lost. Interesting we don't have enough reconnaissance to know what you are. AT. Yep. If we had professional troops here, we'd be absolutely jumping the AT. AT does not fight infantry particularly well. Well, pure infantry particularly well. So you can see, it's 4 times better versus tanks than it is against infantry. Professional tank troops leading the way.
All clear, sir.
Let's see if the professional troops can make good work attacking the salient here. Looks like they can. 5-to-1 odds. See if they can deliver on those odds. That looks like a yes.
Mission successful.
So we've got an objective to take that city. That city is a port, so it likely has adequate supplies. It is a SHQ. In fact, it's the SHQ to this pocket. So this pocket is likely to completely... Well, I was about to say likely to completely collapse. That might actually be true. If that city falls, the whole pocket might collapse. Our guys are probably going to need at least one turn of wind up before they can do the attack here. Although we're getting surprisingly good odds here. Oh, we're getting surprisingly good odds. I'm not going to delay the attack with that great of odds.
Going in.
Yeah,
We need
I wasn't expecting it to succeed. Before I saw the odds, 8 stubble units lost to 11, so it was in our favor. We panicked the SHQ, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Over here, we're mostly resupplied, so we're probably not taking penalties with the tanks anymore. Let's see if I can get this beachhead thrown back into the sea. Expectations is no. Let's attack anyway.
Requesting backup.
We lost 15 to 6. Yeah, on the loss exchange ratio, that was probably about right. And that wasn't, well, almost was enough to throw them into the sea. We almost caused the entire garrison there to surrender. And of course, that got us more field testing for the tanks. You get field testing when a unit hits other units or is hit. So getting the tanks hit like that does get the field testing on them to tell us what we need to do to make them better. Even though the answer is presumably put polymer armor on it and a better engine. The good old engineers back home would like a little bit better description on what to make better other than just better. Which is probably what they'd be told otherwise. We've only got 53% readiness here, so there's an argument to not attack here and wait for our readiness to come up. Although that's probably an argument on their side too. They're probably also gaining readiness the longer we wait. Yeah, let's wait for a little bit more readiness. The swamp works both ways. It defends them from us attacking, and it'll defend us from them attacking. The weaker hexes are not the ones I'm worried about them attacking out into. And I think this is about where the frost line gets to, so we don't have to worry about the frost screwing up our defensive position. Is that the oil wool we're building up? No. Let's start building that one up as well.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, our army's handling the casualty ratio, or nation's handling the casualty ratio reasonably well. Okay, I think it's time to cycle that turn. We'll see what that AT does. If it holds position, we'll attempt to encircle it instead of attacking it outright. They get hit with artillery, fairly negligible losses. They attempt to break out. They take a lot of tank and vehicle losses. They attempt to attack there, and they do actually drive us back. Attack there and drive us back, okay. We killed 110 tanks. At the cost of 1,200 infantry, 10 motorized, and 40 of our own tanks. We have 3 decisions awaiting us on round 234. Discovered light thopter. Completed heavy rocket engine. The director of the foreign affairs has finally retired of old age. It's time to tell the advisor that was advising them that they're about to have a new job. Cabinet. You, who were attached to them, has now stacked up a decent amount of diplomacy and oratory. We're going to call you up. We're going to relieve you. Make promise of another or better job. This effect on abilities will be halved. Sure you want to relieve me of duty? Yes, we have a better job for you. Thanks for finding me a better job. Eagerly awaiting it. Okay. Meantime, we're going to ignore the leader action here. Can I make a viable thopter? That doesn't matter too much here. Let's assume it's going to be some sort of, like, recon with guns. We got at least light turbojets. We can take off with that. So the question is, can I get enough fuel on board to have decent range? And yeah, I think we're going to be... This is a planet, apparently, for thopters. Toss some rockets on board. Drop the fuel a bit. Get 8 hex range, 9, or yeah, 8 hex range. Go medium. Go a little more fuel. Okay, and at this point, I should probably call this a fighter armor. It's not going to handle against fighters particularly well, but for the moment, against air or against ground targets, we'll actually say this is a tactical armor, just so it tries to avoid getting shot up by planes. This should be pretty good against tanks. Roll up, buzz the target with guns and rockets blazing. I forget what the penetration is in the small ones. In my unit overview video, I have the penetration on all the weapons for the Air Force. Yeah, I think that's good enough design. We'll go with that. Medium turbojet, 1-engine thopter.
Order received.
Yes, sir.
Nope, we had a delay on one of the oil drilling facilities. I'm more concerned about the oil right now than I am concerned about the metal. Continue to get these oil facilities upgraded.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
We didn't have enough shipping for the armor to get delivered, so we haven't got the replacements there. You did not maneuver.
Requesting
Although they have managed to sneak some more infantry up, so it's not just an exposed...
We're under fire.
Yeah, it's not just an exposed 18.
Requesting
Okay.
backup. Requesting backup.
Okay, so we don't have you pinned. That's a little of a concern. Oh, and the light armor is spotted. We need to get replacements out for you. And if we didn't deliver the armor, we're probably not going to deliver you either. Okay. If we can take the port, the logistics situation in this pocket should collapse. The port is
Mission
fallen.
successful.
Unless that's another port down there? That might be another port. That is another port down there. Okay, so the situation's not completely collapsed. But yeah, we took the port. In fact, we had to demand to take the port, so it's a good thing we've taken the port. No, I can't expand the zone for the moment. That'll be fine. I want to give it its assets back if I can. Can the Russian troops give a bloody nose to the vehicles there? 8-1, yes.
Mission successful.
Not big enough allies against the vehicles there. Too many units are exhausted at this point. Okay, so we gotta let them have this salient. I would like to cut the supplies off, to cut them off from the harbor where they're gonna get the supplies from, but that is not in the cards right now. Okay. Potentially using HQs as blocking detachments is probably not the smartest idea for HQ survival, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to tie up the. To be fair, we've attacked these guys, so these guys are already suppressed to some degree. We're gonna tie them up so they can't just continue to run amok using the HQs. Our HQs are not particularly squishy. They are running the rifle 5s at least. And then we need to plan out replacements. Yeah, and our readiness is up in the 80s. It's time to take this swing if we're going to take the swing. You guys are a little slow at this, so I'm actually clicker faster than the UI's assigning units here. I'm not doing this slowly because I'm doing it slowly. I'm doing it slowly because the UI is only so fast. Okay, so this is not the greatest of combat odds, but this is combat odds I think we can accept because we can handle the attrition. I think here.
Going in. We need more firepower, sir.
Lost 37 subunits, destroyed 41. So that was a bloodbath on both sides. They lost 41, we lost 37. The port holds, but that's a terrible loss ratio that we just inflicted upon them. And that should presumably keep those guys from attacking out there. Readiness is going to be terrible. And apparently they got terrible... Some of their guys have terrible supply state. Because I might be focusing more on trying to get guys into the pocket rather than necessarily supplying them. So yeah, we just took a city. The VP we had before we took it was 34.1. We'll see where it is next turn after taking it. when our tanks are not even positioned to do an attack here. So it would be a professional infantry only attack. I suppose we could drag in the militia. No, it's professional infantry only or not. We're just bringing in people to get slaughtered if we bring in the militia. The militia are somewhat valuable for keeping them there. If our units were adequately reinforcing, I would take it if it were full strength. We're not full strength, so we can wait until our reinforcements arrive, if they are going to arrive, given the logistical situation. Yeah, we saturated that road connection. We saturated that shipping line. We saturated that shipping line. And yeah, in theory, we should be getting... Well, we had enough to get everything there, right? We might not on the next turn, but this turn we're good. But yeah, if we want to ship more, I need to get ports upgraded. So the attack's kind of getting bogged down to the struggle, which is logistics. Maritime trading houses. Good thing I checked. We're about to have a contract run out. I'd rather
Yes,
not.
sir. Yes, sir.
Let's do a quick buff across the board
Yes, sir.
to durations.
Yes, sir.
Put them all over 10.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from a demand standpoint, we did complete our demand, which was take the city. So that should complete. And well, we do the enforcement if we can do the enforcement. We'll see if that comes up in the next 7 turns. And yeah, the other way to deal with this, and this was actually one of the reasons to go into the attack here, is if we do damage to the port, that damages their supply situation. One way to deal with this is actually bring in artillery as well. I could start shelling the city, soften up the attack. Independent motorized artillery. A little bit concerned with how low we're on metal. I'll hold off on not doing that because we want the metal available for the construction of the oil drill facilities. But yeah, getting a unit or 2 of that raised up so we can start shelling the position as a preparatory bombardment is not the terriblest of ideas. Where are we? There we are. Anyway, we'd like to run down the peninsula here. What I might do is we might try to clear out this pocket down here and negotiate a peace when we're... Because, yeah, until we can take these ports, we can't just go running off into the sunset. And they definitely have troops blocking the way. Whether or not they think they can break out without troops, I don't know. Hopefully they can. Let's cycle the turn, let's see if they do. Okay, not surprising that they're managing to break out against the Xeno troops. So the combat kill-to-death ratio for this turn is going to look terrible because the Xeno troops, I think, are classed as infantry, even though they're militia. So yeah, we killed 500 infantry, 10 guns, and 60 tanks at the cost of 2,900 of our infantry. Although a lot of those would be the Xeno troops, which is a little disappointing because they're not replaceable. Although they don't cost any logistics, right? So that's why I had them deployed in the position where I was worried the logistics would be the worst. Kept a promise at the steel front. Acquired Movu port. Model complete the Thrumper. Security tactics.
Yes,
Make it
sir.
extra fancy. We're being asked to appoint an advisor. You're really, really good at operational command. Capacity 5. I suppose I can make you the advisor. We'll make you the advisor. We'll probably actually put you advising the SHQ. Foreign Affairs Council is going to be taken by the former advisor. So this is your job.
Copy that.
Maldenstein did complete the Thopter, so we now have that light Thopter. We may look into trying to deploy that, because that would be an interesting usage. Front lines. Tanks are only up to 33 field testing. What's the light tanks up to? 25, so I still want to see a little more combat as well. Or replace them. I think we're just in no new orders here. It may try to find the medium Thopter in the meantime.
Roger.
Sabotage!
Yes,
Just
sir.
paid the workers off. New governor! In hindsight, the Capacity 5 guy was probably a better governor. We'll give it to you, just because I don't necessarily care much about this port for the moment. You want the port to be level 2? No.
Roger that.
The port might warrant being level 2 to the number of people living in it, but for the moment, it's going to be more...
We're under fire.
Oh, never mind. Oof. Okay.
Requesting backup.
Trying to get rid of this armored car while we've got it encircled. It's not going.
Requesting backup.
Feeling more and more like we may have run out of steam here as far as our attack is concerned. May have spent our attacking capacity, and or have it basically out of position.
Going in. Mission successful. Going in. All clear, sir.
Oh, and I'm gonna need a garrison in that city. Yeah, okay. Oops, not zone. Not traffic signs, zone borders. And that one over. We'll just take that small hex there for the moment under the control of that city. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that those guys may be breaking out. Tanks are still not ready for attacking. So it'd be an infantry-only assault. Infantry haven't reinforced. That's not an exchange ratio that is viable. Shipping routes saturated. Shipping routes saturated. Yeah, I think we've running out of steam. We're shooting too many bullets and not enough reinforcements. I might continue to still be able to roll up the front here. I don't know how much supplies are coming in via that sea route. Wouldn't be surprised if it was not very many. You know, at the same time, we're reached saturation, so we're not getting very many supplies. All the reinforcements have arrived. What's our... We commit everyone to assault. What's the exchange ratio? Pretty terrible. Yeah, pretty terrible. The readiness of like 66%. Yeah, that's why it's terrible. We need the readiness to go up. I am contemplating an overture of peace. We've definitely claimed some progress. And we're up to 34.3. So yeah, the from a population territorial expansion, this is pretty eligible. 25,000 people, not very many people. The port here is basically not going to fall. We're not getting enough supplies in that this is not going to change. We gotta come to peace. We gotta have the bullets stop flying, so we can reorganize the forces, get the reinforcements across. So yeah, let's send the overture.
Copy that.
We have denied the first overture, so war doth continue. Okay, we're gonna cycle the turn. Actually, let's check personnel. Everyone that we have is reasonably happy. Let's grab a military and a civilian.
Roger that. Roger that.
Camp 4. You'd probably be a pretty good governor, yeah. I know we got a pretty incompetent one in governorship for the one we just took over. What I might do is I've got the cards to give him a referendum. We might give this guy a referendum to get him out. And replace him with the Cat 4. We'll give him another turn, though, before we do that. We want to negotiate peace in case we lose the town. If the war doesn't go... We don't swing it back to peace. Okay, they're pulling back towards the port. They've linked up Pocket with the armored car. Looks like the local squids caused a little bit of a problem. Although that's not concerning, that's worthless swamp area. We killed 100 infantry, we lost 300. Again, this is probably mostly militia being lost, so this means that ineffective troops are fighting ineffective troops. It's around 236. We have 10 decisions. We've discovered the medium thopter, ultra capacitors. Okay. This is just to confirm, so that's an easy decision. You want democracy to go up? It'll probably go up. New advisor. We'll take the Camp 3 as the advisor.
Copy that.
Order acknowledged.
Postpone that decision. Zone, petition. We'll let them petition us.
I'm on it.
Copy
Give them
that.
some demands.
Roger.
Mitigate the ancient weapon. Worker salary. We'll set the recruit sign-up bonuses, even though I'm not going to be using them right away. Allow emergency food. Allow supplying units before regular supply.
Roger that.
And then, yeah, can we make a viable heavy or viable medium thopter? Nope, this is models. I'm looking for blueprints. Medium thopter. Again, this will be sort of like a tactical bomber. We're looking probably at heavy turbojets. Probably with some precision bombs, let's say. Ooh, maybe not precision bombs. We go no air-to-ground weapon. Bounce from 3 to nothing. Go up a step. More fuel, does that give us more range? More fuel, The small one, the light ones were really suggesting we could have viable ones. This is saying otherwise. At least not with the turbojets. I might have to wait until we get plasma jets to get viable precision bombers. That's what I was going to do for these ones. I was going to do precision bombs. Yeah, we're getting 3 range checks, which is not enough. Not enough at all. So, we're not even going to try. Nope, we've got the HQ surrounded. Can we break the HQ out? Maybe.
Sir. All clear, sir.
Yeah. The battle odds are taking that to be worse than it was. Partially because the battle odds wasn't maybe taking account of the terrible readiness from it being out of supply for as long as it was. Okay, in the meantime, professional troops are going to continue to... Actually, can I... Instead of just attacking the end of the salient, can I cut the salient end off? Possibly.
Going in.
Boss leader, okay. Is that enough to deaden the assault? No.
Mission completed.
Mission completed. And the jumble professional troops here will continue the assault and probably get this entire hex to surrender.
Mission successful.
Yep. That is their port in this area, so that's where the supply is coming from. Although, once again, we will offer peace terms, I think. Unless I think we can crush this pocket first. Readiness, in theory, has gone up. So we'll see if it's enough to account for the large number of units they have in the pocket. So one hex, really heavily stacked defensive position. So they're taking penalties from how heavily stacked they are. Yeah, that's good enough odds I'm going to take the swing. It's going to be bloody.
Go, go, go!
We need more firepower, sir.
33 subunits to 23, yeah. Getting lots of field testing for when we go for the battle dress version. Still very tempted to maybe hold out for heavy battle dress. What are we missing for heavy battle dress? I need 4 in automation. Okay. So working on the third of the 4. But yeah, I think it is time to deliver them another round of terms.
Copy that.
They still deny it. The war doth still continue then. Don't suppose... What's the... Independent... I'm looking for... Tactical? Tactical Bomber Squadron. Bumper. Sure, bring one of those in. That will be one way to start softening the position up. Send in fighter bombers, tactical bombers in as a first strike. Medium turbojet engine, roll in, just rockets and strike. Only small rockets, right? Yeah, small rockets and machine gun, but we can still strafe the place up with that. I don't see any AA in the pocket, so that definitely will do damage. Oh, and all the oil drilling facilities are complete, so for the moment, all the construction's done. You know, let's try... At this point, I don't think they're going to get back to the port. So let's... I think it's strat card U. No, it's leader. Strat card the... out. Click U. Strat card U. Local referendum.
Yes, sir.
Governor lost the referendum. There we go. So what that then means is that spot's obviously open, and we can put the higher capacity governor in that spot. Okay. Again, we haven't really received enough reinforcements here to do an attack. So we sit on the port. I don't suppose... No, neither of those units have artillery. If we had artillery, we could start pounding the port, but none of the militia there have artillery. Okay, let's cycle that turn. They're attacking. Managed to encircle one of our units. Also proving effective against the Xeno troops. When I saw that one battle where we held them, like, we must have inflicted pretty good combat loss with them. No, we killed 300 infantry, for the cost of 2,700 infantry. Probably mostly militia, and Xeno troops. 60 motorized and 30 tanks. Again, the tanks, probably the militia. Although that might have been the light tanks. In fact, that might have been the light tanks holding that position. Leader KA, the 11th Grenadier Infantry Brigade, Buzz Shallowsun, has been killed in action.
Order received.
Affirmative.
Order received.
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Copy that.
When Governor, that's your new job.
Yes, sir.
Unit decisions. I got 2 commanders to appoint because we lost one on our side of the turn, lost one on the turn rolled over.
Roger that.
Grab 2. Oh, I didn't have 2 militaries to deploy. I guess we'll grab a civilian.
Roger that.
Could have grabbed a merc, but So you get a military. And you get who you can get.
Roger that.
It's at the edge of the salient here, where they're fairly thin.
Move it now!
Would like to drive just straight on the port, but I think we need to keep the frontage a little
Mission
wider than that.
successful.
Yeah, so we're basically bottlenecked on the shipping, bottlenecked on... Well, in this case, we're actually... Well, it's basically the shipping as well. So we're using what we can, but there's not much left. Yeah, let's do a Thopter run here. I think you're probably capable of doing air attack. Oh, I can do any of the Sea Hex as well. No, we're going to attack those guys. In theory, I don't think there's going to be any return fire, although it's implying there may be. Someone in here may... Oh, they've got an armored car in. The armored car is going to be able to return fire. Do I run the attack anyway? Let's wait until we have more readiness. Yeah, if what I think is the source, the readiness is the thing that will make or break the attack. Because yeah, we're not necessarily coming in with a lot of firepower, per se. Although they maybe don't have a lot of firepower in return, right? They just got the 4 armored cars. We're not building anything. Before our oil well runs out again, so I don't forget, we need to peripheral mine. In this case, right, that's... Yeah, that's it. It's time. It
Standing by.
pretty much is time. Oh, that's not the right button. Strat card. Might be doing it like 1 turn too early, but close enough. Yeah, I think we deliver terms I can. See if they will accept.
Copy that.
Critical failure. Okay, well they're at 25, so they're still at a point where they could accept.
Roger that. 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 Roger that.
Okay. Yeah, so I suppose we're going to cycle the turn. This situation is probably not getting better. Until we can bring over professional troops and reorganize the line. Yeah, we're shipping in reinforcements, resupply as quickly as we can. Doesn't mean they're shipping in quickly enough for the desired combat situation. Oh, and the bullets. Definitely, we got a reserve of bullets, so we're not worried. But that, ooh, that's a consumption rate. 5 to 6K a turn. So we got what? That's 20 turns, let's say. Conservative 20 turns before we run out. Okay, I think we're coming up on what will be the last turn of this stream. Over this end turn, we killed 600 infantry at the cost of 1,300 of our own, 30 motorized, and 30 tanks. So, definitely, I think we're at the point where we do, if they accept terms, we're offering them. So we're just going to keep offering until they accept or we fail. It did complete mining revitalization, so that's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here, if we can do one more revitalization, we'll be able to discover the heavy battle dress. So I'm very on board. In fact, industrial revitalization, I think, also doubles the yield of the heavy industry, which is the machines that we need for the heavy battle dress. So I should do industrial revitalization.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going to gamble 50-50 here.
Affirmative.
We succeeded. So, now I'm having to raise the wages.
Yes, sir.
Take the mine there. Buff the oil. 20,000 more oil in the well.
Yes, sir.
Democracy. Okay, once again, we're going to have the professional troops attack the salient. There's not very many professional troops actually next to the salient. Can we get you guys involved as well? Sure. These guys won't have a lot of action points coming in, but then I'll bring in mass in the first attack wave. First couple turns of the combat.
Move it now! Mission accomplished.
And then continue the professional troops drive on the port. No, we're out of steam. That's not going anywhere. At least not with a favorable casualty ratio. What's the odds of just attacking the vehicles there? Pretty good, actually.
Going in. We need more
Short, sharp
firepower,
affair.
sir.
Destroyed 2 tanks. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. And then here we're waiting for reinforcements that are never going to come because we've saturated the supply lines. And bullets get prioritized over reinforcements. So as long as we're shooting, we're not receiving replacements. Oh, interesting. So we've toned down the shooting enough that we're actually getting bullets again. Do I have like a bunch of militia in the SHQ? Screw up my math there. No. Did we outright lose a unit? That's plausible. Race formation, missing unit. Yes, 2 Grenadier units have been completely destroyed in battle.
Bombs away!
This is the other type of fight these guys are useful for.
Whiskey Tango bomb.
So they rolled up, no risk of taking any casualties, managed to inflict 2 casualties. And they can basically do that every turn for the rest of the game if they needed to. Reason we're not attacking the pocket is the pocket has a machine gun unit in it, in the form of the armored cars here. And advanced machine guns and up have base of 4 AA, which is affected by modifiers, so they're getting up to 7 in this case. And that's not super dangerous. It's like a 7% chance or something to hit per combat round. Where's the unit's hit points? Do planes not have hit points? They do have hit points, yeah. Oh, so it's probably like 3% chance to hit per combat round, but as you can see, 3% times 4 against 3 units is going to become unduly high. And we don't have very many planes. There's not very many planes here, right? I had an airfield set up so we could send in level bombers from high altitude. Then we'd be a little bit better off. And of course, the zone's shrinking because I've not been throwing more people at it or keeping the zone qual high. But it's level 3, and that's probably all it needed. We're level 2, you're level 2. There's maybe an argument to upgrade you to level 3 so we can try to squeeze the mine a little harder. But the mine, again, when it's empty, it's empty. And when you have this well here, I could build this well up. Although we're not having petrol problems anymore. We're having logistics problems. Although I'm not actually having logistic problems up here. We are able to ship stuff in. It's the other island that's having the issues. So I suppose with that being the case, I can go ahead. We've got the capacity to raise them. Bring up some batteries to just start showing the position. I'm just going to get the one deployed this turn. Yeah, it's just going to be the one. Am I out of proposed piece? I am out of proposed piece, so we can't actually propose peace this turn. We'll open contact at least. I got up to 45. That might help with the next proposed piece, which obviously is not this turn. And I think this is going to be the state of the run at this point. Victory-wise, we haven't gained much victory score. We've gained like 1, maybe 2 points during the stream. I looked at the beginning of the stream, so if you're watching on Twitch, you could just go rewind to the beginning of the stream once we're done here with the stream and see what the victory score was. You're watching on YouTube, that would have been 3 parts ago when we started the stream. So the progress is slow and glacial, although we're fighting Becker, right? Which is number 2. They're the people we need to keep below 25 if we just want to go straight to 50. And they're arguably the people we need to take the score off of, because they got the most score. They've also got the most people, so they're the most threatening. As they've been shown, right? They're actually threatening. Although we've been managing to keep the casualties reasonably under control. At some point, we'll want to negotiate the integration of these guys, because these guys have got 400,000 people. But we want this war to be probably over when we do that. This is where we're going to head, again, I think, put the part in here. Could queue up more construction. We've got metal piled up. They're getting 1,000 metal a turn, so we've got metal coming in. We got oil coming in. Maybe not getting a bunch of food, but we don't really need a bunch of food. We're basically full on food. We could store another 3,000, but that'd be about it. Bullets. We've been spending bullets. This is actually a good turn where we're making bullets. Water, we're throwing out more water every turn than our storage can hold by almost 2 times. Industry, we're actually capped. Power, we're capped. Although we can expand the power storage. Radioactives are slowly piling up. I suppose one way we could win is we could deploy the bomb. That's an endgame condition we may resort to win this map. We're recruiting. I don't think we're recruiting faster than we're losing. Although we had a pretty big stockpile of recruits. I've actually got colonists to deploy. The main reason I've actually been holding off deploying the colonists is I think we might want to deploy them overseas to help with building ports once the situation calms down. Actually, thinking about it, we want this port expanded, I think. What's the port level up to? Port 2. I think we want to take this up to port 3, if not port 4. So yeah, let's start that port expanding.
Affirmative.
And then how many more workers do you need to work that? We're just going to give you the worker difference. 10,000. 11,000.
Affirmative.
There we go. so don't forget next turn. We'll have that port expand. That'll help with the shipping on that route, which is that unload site. So that would get us more landing. We could try to improve that shipping, but we've already saturated that road, so that's actually the one we want to improve, if we can. Although improving both of them wouldn't necessarily be the worst of plans. And the other one I think is going to the capital. Right, so that would actually... Again, that's another port that would probably be worth upgrading. Bring it to the max size. Which reminds me, before we bring the stream to close... We got enough turns on there. Yeah, I will still go ahead and
Yes, sir.
up them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that route's actually happy. And that's because actually the capital port isn't actually saturated, so we're not taking problems from shipping from the capital. So we're shipping from... Yeah, the capital port is not saturated. It's all the places that are unloading from the capital that are saturated. Or from the port standpoint, not necessarily from the shipping route. Yeah. You actually probably have... I don't want to click that. That port probably actually has enough workers, civilian workers. Never mind. I was about to say, it probably has enough... Well, actually, it probably still has enough civilian workers, to be fair. That we could force a port upgrade. So let's try to upgrade that port, then we'll get a little bit more through.
Roger.
I might be kicking myself if that undermines our logistics situation, but I don't think it will. That has significantly raised the worker consumption here, so it's going to have to double the workers. Although... But I think you can usually hire, or you can pretty reliably hire like 5% of the city's civilian population. So that might be doable. They might just be able to hire that in one turn with 1,000 people. The private jobs won't be happy, but the private jobs aren't happy anyway. And yeah, so we're pushing on the city. We're winning, although we're the slow grind from winning to have won still in our future. Tech-wise, we're getting next to some of the fancy endgame techs. Once we got industrial robotization done here in automation, we'll have the 4 that we need to get into robotics, which includes heavy battle dress, robotic soldiers, so that's a nice combo. We're working on atomic missile. We're probably not going to use atomic missile. Yeah, probably not going to use atomic missile. But it is the prerequisite for the ICBMs, so we're a little more likely to use the ICBMs. Of course, we need 4 in here to do ICBM. So it's atomic... Oh, it's atomic missile, which is a prerequisite for the atomic fusion missile. Or... No, apparently we didn't need to... Oh, actually, we need it for the atomic launcher. Right, so we need atomic missile for atomic launcher. The atomic fusion missile is the prerequisite for the ICBM on the launcher. There we go. So yeah, we're getting into some of the interesting techs. Also, we can do laser rifles and laser guns. That'll be nice there. And yeah. Oh, and plasma engines are they upgraded the turbojets basically. So we're getting into some of the interesting techs. And yeah, I suppose actually. Well, that's probably why our metal and oil is feeling so good right now. We got mining revitalization online, so that's doubling all the output from the mines. But yeah, I hope you've all been enjoying. If you're watching on YouTube, there likely will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, give me a moment, bring up the schedule. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, because of how I record, the schedule that I'm telling you is the things we've just recorded before this episode. Over the last couple days. So for Twitch, this is their future. For YouTube, this is in your past. Because usually I effectively record 2 parts ahead of where the schedule is, so that obviously I have time to record tomorrow's part before today. But yeah, so today is Wednesday, my time, 29th. So if you're watching on Twitch, tomorrow will be Whiskerwood. The day after will be Terra Invicta. Hopefully we're going to Saturn. Saturday will be Panzer Corps 2 with London, and then Sunday we will be back to do Shadow Empire. And the war for the moment is continuing, although we're still attempting to negotiate a peace. If we can get everything to calm down and reorganize our forces, we'll be in a much better position for the next war, I think. But yeah, at this point, we're shipping more bullets to the front than we're shipping replacements. It's kind of what's in the way. So we'll be picking up next time, the end of round 234. So if you're watching on YouTube, part of tomorrow, watching on Twitch, we'll be doing this again in 4 days. So until then, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one. And bye for now.